Welcome to today's discussion. I'm Sonia.
And I'm Simon. We'll be covering a range of economic and business stories affecting various sectors globally.
Let's start with the Indian government's recent decision to waive customs duties on cotton imports until October 30, 2026. The move aims to boost cotton availability for the textile industry and lower input costs for manufacturers.
That's an interesting development. How significant is the textile industry to India's economy, and what impact could this duty waiver have?
The textile industry is a crucial sector in India, contributing significantly to both employment and exports. By exempting cotton imports from customs duties, the government is likely easing the pressure on textile manufacturers, especially small and medium enterprises, by reducing their raw material costs.
So this move is essentially a support measure for the textile industry. Do we know how the industry has been performing recently, and what challenges it faces?
According to the reports, the industry has been dealing with geopolitical tensions affecting supply chains. The duty waiver is seen as a measure to counter these challenges by ensuring adequate cotton supplies and stabilizing costs.
That makes sense. Lowering input costs should help manufacturers remain competitive, both domestically and internationally. Are there any potential downsides to this policy, like impact on local cotton farmers?
The articles don't mention specific concerns about local cotton farmers, but it's a valid point. Typically, such measures are balanced with support for domestic producers to ensure the policy doesn't inadvertently harm local agriculture.
Got it. Let's move on to another story.
The Trump administration plans to appeal a federal judge's order that allows all companies that paid tariffs struck down by the Supreme Court to seek refunds. The Supreme Court had ruled that President Trump lacked the constitutional authority to impose certain tariffs.
The Supreme Court ruling was significant because it directly impacted the legality of tariffs imposed during Trump's presidency. How much money are we talking about in terms of potential refunds?
The reports mention that billions of dollars have already been refunded to companies, and the total could rise further if the appeal doesn't succeed. This has been a significant development for businesses that had paid those tariffs.
Businesses big and small have been receiving these refunds. What's the potential impact if the Trump administration's appeal succeeds?
If the appeal succeeds, it could halt or limit the refund process for companies that have filed claims. This would have implications for businesses that have been relying on these refunds.
That's a critical point. The uncertainty surrounding these tariffs and refunds can affect business planning and investment decisions. Let's move on to another story.
A Crystal Ratings report suggests that India's banking sector may see a slight decline in return on assets to 1.1 to 1.2% in FY27. This is attributed to normalizing Treasury income and increased provisions ahead of new accounting norms.
So the banking sector's profitability is expected to dip slightly. What are the main factors driving this decline?
According to the report, the decline is due to lower Treasury gains and early provisioning for expected credit losses. Despite this, the sector's profitability is expected to remain above historical averages.
That's a nuanced view. How significant is the impact of these factors on the overall banking sector's health?
The reports indicate that while there's a moderation in profitability, the sector remains robust. Net interest margins are expected to stay stable, and credit growth is likely to continue being healthy.
Okay, so the banking sector is still on a relatively stable footing despite some headwinds. Let's discuss another topic.
NITI Aayog has emphasized the need for India to accelerate its domestic semiconductor manufacturing efforts to achieve self-reliance. This is seen as crucial for both economic resilience and national security.
The push for semiconductor self-reliance is significant. What are the main risks associated with India's current dependence on imports?
The reports highlight that heavy reliance on imports poses both economic and security risks. With global supply chains shifting, there's a limited window for India to establish itself as a major chip manufacturing hub.
Developing a domestic semiconductor industry could be a game changer. Are there any ongoing initiatives or plans that you're aware of?
The India Semiconductor Mission is one such initiative, driving transformation in this sector. The first fabrication plant in Gujarat's Dholera is expected to start production by 2028, marking a significant step toward self-reliance.
That's a promising development. Achieving self-reliance in semiconductors would not only reduce costs for advanced technologies, but also safeguard defense programs. Let's move to our final story.
Kazmunayagas has reported a decline in oil and gas output at the Kashagan field in the first quarter of 2026. Production amounted to 751,000 tons, marking a 1.3% decline compared to the previous period.
What are the potential implications of this decline for Kazmunayagas and the broader energy market?
The decline at Kashagan, along with other fields like Kara Chakanok, which saw a 19.2% decline, could impact Kazmunayagas's overall production levels. However, the company has reported an increase in revenue and profit in the first quarter of 2026.
So, despite the production decline, the financials are looking positive. Are there any specific factors contributing to this revenue increase?
The reports don't go into detailed reasons, but it's possible that favorable market conditions or pricing contributed to the improved financial performance.
That concludes our discussion for today. Thanks for joining me, Sonia.
Thank you, Simon. It's been a pleasure discussing these stories with you. Until next time.
Until next time.
Before we sign off, just to recap, we covered the Indian government's cotton import duty waiver, the Trump administration's appeal on tariff refunds, the Indian banking sector's profitability outlook, India's push for semiconductor self-reliance, and Kazmunayagas's production decline.
That's right. Each of these stories offers insights into various economic and business developments. We appreciate your listening.